Last video I created this, what I call a triangle vase or three-sided vase. That was just turned between centres to do really off-centre turning for the three sides. This video I'm going to do a four-sided vase, and for that I'm going to use the Eccentric Spiraling chuck from Axminster tools. You can totally do this same project between centres as I did the triangle vase, but I thought I'd also just give a demonstration on how this works. There's three parts to this which I'll just run through. The first part is this ring on the back here. This is the part that really just acts like a faceplate. You can then mount that on the standard C-size jaws. So the good thing about that, it's nice and quick and easy to take the whole piece off. The second part on here, which I've just taken out one of the securing screws on here, is the part which you specify how far you're going to off center. So on the back of the faceplate, effectively there's 4 steps either side that you can actually move this off center. So that's the most extreme. The third and final part is the piece that you actually mount your work to. This is just like an ordinary faceplate. So your piece of work, so for example this is something I had on there once before, you'd put on there and you've got 3 screw holes there just to basically put the ordinary screws in like you would with a faceplate. What this also has as well is that you'll see these 12 slots, which on this second part there's also a guide on there, so that when you've got it located you can actually rotate the work around by 12 stops as well. So it gives that extra element of really doing more on the off-centre turning. Like with the previous jobs, I've got another lump of wood here. That might even be ash this time. I'm going to start this off between centres, get it trued up. Now the only problem is with when you're putting a faceplate on end grain, the screws don't actually hold so well. So I will be keeping a support on the end all the time. Also on this mounting block here, where the actual main bolt goes through to secure this into this inside there, in the top there's an extra wider part of the hole there. So it means that what I can do, I will have a look to see if I can do it, is when I turn this down between centres and true it up, on the end I can then actually create a small, effectively like spigot, to then go into the locating hole. So we're then hopefully fairly well trued up to start with. All of these, other than your screws for mounting the work on, are just basically ordinary Allen key bolts. So on the top there's 2 which use a 4mm Allen key. One is just a pivot, the other one is the locator for how far you want it off centre. The slightly bigger one, which uses a 5mm Allen key, is what secures this onto this in the back there. So again, if your work is actually too big to overhang to then be able to get into these through an Allen key, you can take the whole piece off, remove this whole block to take your work off, and then modify this as you need. I've trued up the blank, and I've also put a tenon on there, because what I want to do is, after I've done the outside shaping, the hollowing, I would prefer to probably put this into a proper chuck rather than the faceplate with the end grain, but that may well change. The sort of small spigot locating point I've got on the end here, I've probably made a little bit too loose, but at least it does help me centre the thing. So ideally I need to get this as central as possible for when I mount this on here, because then it means that my tenon will be true as well still. So I'm hoping to get this properly lined up. That then just locates on here. Now, for these 12 indexing systems, there is a marker point on the top here, and so that's really sort of like your guide. And on the outside you've got 12 indentations. What I've actually done with a Sharpie is just do one, because in that way I know where my original starting point is if I line that up with the marker. So that can go on there. The large bolt holds the faceplate, which is secured in with the 5mm Allen bolt. So initially I'm just going to put this central just to see how well this spins up. So that is how it should be for central, and just get this mounted on the chuck. Just turn the lathe speed down so I can see I'm a little bit out. I just need to get this end flattened off first and trued up. I've trued this all up now, so it's now running nice and true on there. So the next thing is to adjust the angles I want on these. So I need to loosen the pivot one off, and I think this is the one, hopefully. And then take out this one and decide how far I want to rotate it. So I'm actually going to go for the widest point on here, which is 4 screw holes across. I can then tighten that up and tighten up the pivoting bolt. I'm going to bring up support on here again, and I can start turning down this first side, rotate this index position by 3 places each time, and then carry on with the turning. So I'm just going to use a spindle gouge on this one. I'm actually going to try and keep the top as it is, purely and simply because what I might do is, because this is now not running true, my tenon on this end, I can put a tenon on this end, just take the lathe speed up to get rid of the rattles, get rid of the vibration. Running just about 1200 RPM there. And it's just a case of going slowly. That's the first side done. I've just used the parting tool in there just so that I can then just have a cut off for the edges, and I can now get that sanded up, and it will require a fair bit of hand sanding again. This first side has now been sanded down through the grits to 600. I need to now rotate this to the next stop point, and there's my marker indicator, and at the same time you can see where on the tailstock that my live center has been hitting. So the first thing I need to do is take this off the chuck, loosen this bolt on the back here now with the 5mm Allen key. It's usually about 2 rotations is enough, and I can see on the front my marks here. So I want to go round 3 spaces. So there's 1, 2, 3. And this is why I mark that point, because I can see straight away where I started and which direction I'm going in. And then just hold the chuck together, tighten this back up, the 2 turns, just give it a little bit of a tweaks. It shouldn't come loose. This can then go back on the chuck again. My tool rest shouldn't alter because all we've done is rotated the work. So now when I'm going to be cutting, I'm actually going to be cutting this edge here. Reason I put the parting tool in there was just to define the edge, and what I should have really done first of all was put that all the way round while I had the whole chuck lined up, and then I could cut between those pieces. But you learn, and I'll just turn this lathe up slowly, put my tailstock support, and that should be then at 90 degrees to the last one. All 4 sides have now been turned and they've come up pretty well. A couple of things I would have done differently while it was in this format of being totally centered. I would have probably put the depth line to start with, and it would have given me a better guide to make sure everything was even, rather than having to constantly check to see how far down from the edges I've gone. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to put a tenon on this end so that I can then put it straight into the chuck. Once I get it in the chuck, then I can then cut off the waste on the top here, hollow out the inside, and then finally part off the bottom to create a nice crisp line. This is what I've come up with now, so hopefully you can see on there that I've got 4 distinctive sides and the walls are all pretty even thickness. Just sign my name on the bottom there, and I've decided to go for the tung oil again. Just learning from doing the last one, what I've found in actual fact is the best way, especially with a vase. Pour some down the middle. Use a pair of forceps with a piece of paper towel on there. Use that then to apply to the whole piece. This just had 1 coat of tung oil in the end. I did sand off the bottom and just put my name on there as well. Just the bulk standard tung oil I've had for quite a few years, which I also used in the last project with the 3-sided vase. Really pleased the way this has come up. The ash looks really, really nice. I did use the Axminster Eccentric and Spiraling chuck on this one. It can quite easily be done between centres. You've just got to be very accurate about where you put your 4 centre points for turning between centres so that you're even all the way round. Certainly learned a few things about this one. What I should really have done is once I've got this trued up and put onto the eccentric chuck, I should have really cut a depth line at each end for how deep I wanted to do it, because it would have made the turning down each side a lot easier. Choice of wood, I mean, I just pick up a piece from my pile which I find suitable to put on a lathe. This one is a piece of ash, and I think it does look really nice even with the tung oil as well. Could certainly go with some colouring on this as well. if you wanted to, but the only problem is because you do that off-center turning, there is more chance of picking up tool marks. I can see I've got a little bit on one of the edges, so it would require a little bit more work on your finishing before you start putting colour on, because the moment you put colour on, it's going to highlight any marks in the work whatsoever. I've already got another idea of another project to use the chuck again, probably on the very similar sort of lines as this, but I'm going to go for something a little bit more of an odd shape, so do look out for another video. Thanks a lot for watching.